Hello, everybody. I'm actually about to go live with this gentleman called Vuyo. So Vuyo is a big dreamer. It's actually his show. We just gonna be hosting it from my space out here. But yeah, I'm gonna connect with Vuyo right here real quick. Let's just see, what am I doing? So he's gonna be interviewing me. So it's gonna be cool to just hear how this interview is gonna go. We'll see what he thinks he wants to chat about. But yeah, I did tell you that I'm gonna be up for interviews. You just tell me what you want to do, and we can do it. So Vuyo has been a big dreamer. Vuyo connected with me, and we're gonna just see how it goes. Hi, Vuyo.
Oh, yes, sir. How are
I'm
you?
great, thanks. How are you doing?
I'm okay. I'm okay. I've been struggling to get hold of you, but finally, we met.
Yeah, well, we've met on the IG streets. So yeah, man. Thanks for being persistent. I'm sure everyone else is also all ears to hear, how your TV show is gonna go. This is your Instagram live TV show. So let's see how it goes. I'm not even gonna say too much. You hosting the show, so you take it away.
Yes. Oh, thank you so much, Mr. Weza. Although we were trying to get hold before, but finally we've able to get hold of you. Man, we Kuzondlula Motivational Tour, we are a youth organization. Our biggest mandate is to give the youth the information out there. So we've decided to have you as our guest. But before we start to get into our topic of the day, we want to know who is Weza and what you do.
Okay. Okay, well, my name is Weza Matomane. On the social media streets, it's Weza that guy. But you have to say it with the voice, otherwise it doesn't count. Anyway, I'm a
Uh,
voiceover artist. I'm a public speaker. I'm an MC. I'm a TV presenter. I'm an entrepreneur. One of the companies I lead is a multimedia company. The other one is artificial intelligence. The other one is in chemical
sure.
engineering, yeah. So it's a little bit on almost every sphere. I just enjoy living, and I enjoy just living with passion and purpose.
Sure. So, someone maybe is asking your personal growth and challenges you encountered.
Hmm. Yeah, so sorry, I just had to switch something off. So you asking about um, challenges I've
Your personal
encountered
growth and
along personal
yeah,
growth. Well, I mean, there's
yes,
been many challenges. I think one thing that I always say is that life is going to give you whatever you want as long as you're willing to pay for it, because it's just like the shop, right? When you go
sure,
into any store, you can pick up whatever you like and put it into your trolley. As long as you're willing to pay for that which you are trying to get, you can get it. But the paying process is usually the painful process, because sometimes there's a lot that is involved. It's not always just paying in terms of money, but sometimes you pay with emotion. Sometimes you pay with um, let me just see. Oh, twins! Oh my gosh, no. Sometimes you pay. Sometimes you pay
yeah, yeah,
with the emotions, and sometimes you pay through emotions like let's say humiliation, pride, and things like that. Sometimes have to take a knock before you can get whatever it is that you want. So it's like that in the shop of dreams. You can have whatever dream you want, and you shouldn't settle for less, because some people do, right? Some people settle for those no-name dreams because they can't have the
sure,
Versace or the Gucci, so they go for the no-name brand of a dream. I'm not saying the actual brand of clothing, but I'm really referring to the bigger dream, or the counterfeit version of that dream that's much smaller and it's not really going to be fulfilling. So for me, I had those type of challenges myself, starting off
coming from a family that didn't really have much, and also coming from an area that wasn't really busy and wasn't really exciting with so many opportunities, I wanted to get involved. I wanted to
Sure.
be in better areas with more opportunities. But that meant also that okay, fine, you go to the university, you go to Pretoria to study, but then now that you're here, there's so many other opportunities, but they require you to either sacrifice your time, sacrifice some of your friendships instead of chilling and having fun. Now you gotta be hustling in these other areas. Sometimes throughout the process, it felt like it wasn't really rewarding. You know, you go to these auditions, you go to these things because you're trying to put your name out there, but you sometimes use your money, your time, you bunk class, you in, you know, you do how trains and how buses and taxis, and you're running to get to places, but then it doesn't always pay off. You don't always get a gig, or you just do the audition, and you sometimes, even while you're there, you're wondering, why am I here? Is this even gonna be worth it at the end? So I had a lot of those type of moments where I wasn't even sure if this is even gonna pay off, and I would be wondering if
Yes.
this is really it. But you're here and you try, and you're trying your best, and it is in those moments where your character is built, you know, in moments where you are. There were times where I'm emceeing for Sun International. It's great because I've always wanted to be an MC. Now I'm a resident MC for them, but I don't really have much money. I didn't get much money there. I don't have any transport.
Sure.
I don't know how many people would take a job that is 50 kilometers away, where you knock off at around 11 o'clock at night, but you don't have any transport to come back. Like, you don't have a car, and
Sure.
there's no staff transport that comes back to your area, and you still take it because you think it's gonna somehow work out. That was me. And then I had to be sitting out there, act like I'm still studying, so that everyone must leave the office, so that I could eventually sleep under the desk, so that I can just wake up in the morning and take the first taxi that goes to town, take another taxi that goes to my place, freshen up to get to class, to still study like everybody else. And there's a part of me that says, why are you doing this? But then you're thinking, it's gonna pay off one day. Just keep going, just keep going. So these were part of those moments where you're doubting yourself, you're paying it forward, you're not quite sure if it's going to pay off, but you're still out here, you're still trying, you're still putting yourself out there, and eventually, you know, things can start making sense. Only when you look back do you say, wow, it all makes sense. I remember that it worked out and everything is fine. But when you are in that journey, when you're in that hustle, you can't even explain it to someone who's asking you, so why are you so tired, man? What do you do at night? Why don't you study? And you can't explain it because you have this dream that seems so far-fetched. Like, what, dude? Just do what everyone else is doing. But you don't want to do what everyone else is doing. You want to do this. You've dreamt a fine dream. You've kept it in your mind's eye. And man, you can't even explain it, but you just gotta hold on. And this is how I was feeling
Yeah.
for most of that time. But eventually it paid off. But those were just some of the struggles. You know, when you get into a taxi with the same suit that you were wearing last night when you were on stage, giving away cars and money, saying, congratulations, you've won yourself 50,000 rand. And now you, Mr. 50,000,
Yeah.
you're using a taxi, and this same suit was your blanket last night. And because you were sleeping under the desk, and then someone walks into the taxi and they're like, oh, can't you not taxi? And you're like, "Ish, yeah." And then they're like, can't I patali lento yakho lena? Ngicabanga ukuthi unemali. And you're like, ah, ish. And imagine,
Yeah.
you
I
have to
know the
go through
pain.
those times. You have to go through those times so that you can eventually, you know, get to where you want to go. So these are part of those lessons, or part of what you have to pay. When I said emotions and time and experiences, you have to sometimes forego to eventually get to your dream and your destination. So I hope that kind of answers that question in terms of what were some of the hurdles. It was those.
Okay. Whether career yakho is different, and if now we can go to schools and ask each learner there, what, let's say, City, what do you want to, where do you want to see yourself after grade 12? Everyone will say, I want to go to university and study teaching and study engineer and study fashion design. But when you are doing something that is different, and I was surprised when I met you first time. Ukuthi you have a different career, and when we are listening a voice over yakho, we thought it's a white guy. Uqale kanjani to be where you are?
Yeah, I also didn't go to school for what I'm doing right now. In fact, if people go to school for this, they end up sometimes really getting half of what they're, or maybe a quarter of what they're really paying for, because places like like let's say places like AFDA and places like Boston Media House and those type of places
Sure.
don't really teach voiceovers. They kind of just tell you what it is, but then that's it. And so I've had a lot of my students that I train tell me, hey, I studied there and now I'm here because I couldn't quite understand what was going on there. They didn't really teach me in detail, and now I'm here. So I figured, I realize now also that voiceovers is not really something that you can go to one of these big institutions for. They don't teach it really in detail. They just kind of brush through it and then they focus more on other things. So even for me, I didn't really study this. I studied chemical engineering at the University of Pretoria. So I didn't even do drama or anything like that. Instead, it was more of,
Sure.
instead of that, I feel like a lot of what I know is self-taught and intuitive, and it has to do with just God's gift to me, I guess, because I believe, even as I teach people, okay, I teach people and they can become quite successful and they can become quite good at it. But when they ask me, but who taught you? I don't really have a proper answer to give them. So I have to end up saying that, some of us read textbooks and some of us write textbooks. The first people who were writing textbooks back in the days before school was there, who taught them? Someone, it has to be picked to write the textbook. So I just feel like sometimes God has given us all certain gifts, and some of us overlook our gifts because the world has told us that that's not important. Just focus on school rather. And then some of us, we are able to just really look at whatever we have in our hands and actually just use that and to actually make that create wealth for us. So it was more a case of being self-taught and intuitively knowing what to do next, and being able to teach others has been something I cherish quite a lot in terms of that, because then I can help them become successful and I can kind of teach them what I know. But I didn't necessarily go to school for it. So if someone wanted to start with voiceovers, I wouldn't say go to a university or anything. I'd actually say get in contact with someone like me and say, hey, I'd like to learn voiceovers, teach me what you know, because it's the fastest way to learn. And part of that is experience too.
You were emceeing in one of the events. You said something that we are struggling on, especially Tina Black Nation, especially Kasi. You find out to parent, they say, Vuyo, I want you to be a doctor, while you don't have a passion of being a doctor. But when you were identified by your teacher, who said this one can qualify for this. Can you share us that story? You share it while you're on stage, and I was saying, yes, kube bonke abazali bayizwa lento lo oyishoyo. Can you share a little bit about that? What identify uthisha what no, this one qualify ukwenza lo voice yakhe is very good for this.
Oh wow. That was actually more like a joke, but I'll share it anyway. That when I was in I was in Ekrish in the township areas, and the true part of the story is that a teacher said to my mother, Mrs. Matomane, you need to take your son and take him to a multiracial school. You're wasting his time here. And I was like, I was about 5 years old at that time. About 4 or 5 years old. And she said, yeah, your child needs to go to a multiracial. This part really happened. 4 years old me, and my teacher is like, hi, seriously. And my mom is like, why? And you know, in the township, especially Ekrish, they don't teach us the whole alphabet. No, or whole alphabet for what?
Sure.
26, 20, how many, 20, what letters for what? No, only five. A,
Mhm.
E, I, O, U, and it's done.
Oh,
So that's exactly
sure.
what happened, you know. So she'd go into the class and say, all right, the whole class, let's go. And the class was like, A, E, I, O, U. Then they said, now, Mama Weza, Mamela, Weza, come here. You also do it. And then I probably sounded like this. Ah, E, O, U. And she's like, you see, please, multiracial. That's what
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but the truth is that yes, she did see something. She did definitely tell my mother that I need to probably be in a
Sure.
place where I could be developed more because somehow I was just kept. I had some linguistic talent that the things that I was being taught, I was grasping a little bit quicker, and she felt that my parents would be wasting my potential if they didn't invest in me at that stage
Sure.
and say, I know multiracial is expensive, but please invest in this child. I think there's something special here. And sometimes it's really important that parents hear that parents believe in investing
Mhm.
in their own children. Because sometimes we see ourselves as well, I'm not a parent, but parents sometimes project their own inferiority complexes or their own self concepts onto their
Sure.
children, and they think because I couldn't do it, maybe he
Sure.
also can't do it. So then they discourage you from going after something that they know little about, instead of saying, wow, my child, you are aiming for things and reaching for things that I do not know anything about. Instead of shutting you down, let me be more interested, let me be proud of the fact that the reason I put you in
Sure.
schools and in places like that, the reason this is what we fought for, this is what we dreamt of, that our kids will dream of things that we couldn't even see or dream about. So instead of it's shutting you down, let me go and do some research, let me find a mentor for you in that space that you are interested in, and let me sit in as well so that I can learn what you know or what you are interested in knowing,
Sure.
so that you can actually come home with something that we've never seen at home before. And I think my mom, I need to really take my hat off for her, because she let me explore things many times. There were many times where she didn't quite agree. She would make it known that, okay, she's not really for this, she's not really supporting this, but she never shut it down, because you know a parent has the power to just shut it down if they want to. They can say, I never want to see that again. I want you to never go there again. Sit down. She could have done that, but you know, every time she saw an opportunity for me to go after something that she was not 100% about, instead of just shutting it down, she just said, actually, you know what? Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about, and maybe
Mhm.
this boy knows
Yeah.
something. Let me bet on him, or let me allow him to bet on himself, and let's see what happens, you know. And every time I've been able to, you know, to come back as a multiple, having grown, having achieved more than what I had before. I said, Mom, can I try that, or can I do that? So yeah, it's always such a good thing that parents should definitely sometimes just bet on their kids, or maybe just allow the kids to bet on themselves.
Segwe Youth Month in South Africa, and there are many things that are happening. As Kuzondlula Motivational Tour, we've decided to invite you as our guest. So, what is your message to young people?
Oh wow, what's the message to the young people? Okay. Um,
Yeah,
I'm young myself, so I guess this message is for all of us, right? I think what
sure,
I didn't really get to prepare this, so I'm just gonna hit it from the cuff. One thing that I believe in
sure,
strongly is that you need to know where your life is going. What I mean is you need to know
sure.
how your obituary will sound when you're 90 years old and you checked out. Will it be
Mhm.
only your church that has come, only your family? Maybe will it be your community, family, friends? Will it
Sure,
be the province? Will it be the country? Will it be the world? Who will know when you
sure.
check out? If you look at Winnie Mandela as an example. I remember hearing her obituary the other day when it was her funeral and it was showcased on TV. And the things
Yeah.
I was hearing there were amazing. But the most impressive is that those things are things that she was doing in her 20s, in her 30s. In that space of time, she was making certain moves that made her a global a presence. I mean, we already, the country was already talking about this girl who's who's shaking up things. And my goodness, that time she was still in her 20s, but she was fearless and bold, and she was out there and she was active, and she was sacrificing her life,
Sure.
sometimes even breaking the rules at home. I'm sure her parents didn't always agree with this whole Zabalazo stuff, but here she was, and she was doing something, and she was actively involved in her 20s, actively being a pencil in the hand of God and writing her obituary that we will one day read as past tense. But in her 20s, she was actively writing the stuff. With every single decision, every single action, she was busy making big moves happen. So I'm thinking, what are your big moves as a young person? What will you be proud of when you're 90 and we have to read back and say, when you were in your 20s and in your 30s, these are the moves you were making? Because it's so important. I understand that, yeah, there are many challenges in Winnie's time and Mandela's time and those guys' times. There were challenges too, you know. So yes, there are challenges, but what will make you not just successful, but significant? I think it's so important that we aim to be more than just successful, but that we aim to be significant, because the legends that came before were significant in that what they did not only benefit and impact them and their loved ones, but it impacted the country and in sometimes even the world. So it is so important to be significant and not just successful, not just to be relevant, but to actually be someone who can really shift a culture or a mindset, or just, even if you are just a star in your smaller league. You know, someone once said, just be,
Sure. Sure.
just strive to be that guy in your league. What I mean by that is, even if you are Ekasi, you're that guy with the tears. You know, people know you're that guy with the tears, the guy who does, and he's proper for the community. I mean, he helps out the soccer teams, and the kids stay off the streets. And you're not doing big things. You're not doing like global stuff, but at least in the community, Ekasi, you're that guy that just makes sure that the teenagers come together and they play soccer, or you get them kits, you get them balls, or maybe you're that person that says, I'm tired of seeing many accidents on the side of the road close to where I stay. I was that guy that was talking to the Department of Transport and so on, and we made sure that there was a stop sign or a robot established in this intersection, because I was tired of seeing things happen. And you were active in your small and way. We all have various leagues. Some of us are in Vela, some of us are in PSL, some of us are in Champions League, some of us are in La Liga. So,
Sure.
but in your space, just be your own Messi, your own Teko Modise, your own Wayne Rooney in your area, even if it is not the world, even if you're just significant, ekaslako, but at least strive to be significant and not just mediocre.
This is the question that just come in now. Segwe Youth Month, according to your own view, are we ready as young people to lead the country? If no, why?
Are we ready as young people to lead the country? You see,
Yeah.
I think that is even a general a question in itself, because who are the young people? You know, we talk about the guys in their 30s, the guys in their 20s, the guys who are early 40s, and also even there are many levels of young people. I've seen brilliant people who are leading the country already in entrepreneurship.
Sure.
They are employing other young people, and they're young themselves, and they're already starting to make moves. And
Sure.
sometimes it is also a case of inclusion. You know, I feel like sometimes the youth are not necessarily um, uh, uh, are not always included in some of these bigger platforms. We look at our current leadership, and it's really people in their 60s, 70s, and you're thinking, wow, a 70-year-old person is making decisions that will impact 50 years from now. He knows he's not going to be here. So that's why it's easy to just take some money and buy. But if you were going to be here and you
Yes.
know that your current actions are also going to affect you as well, maybe you would be more frugal and you'd be thinking more future forward. So I really think it is important that youth get invited into certain types of debates. And even when it comes to, if you look at a Lions, like a Pride, they go to hunt with some of the
Sure.
young guys so that the young guys can learn and see how things are done. So it is so important that
Sure.
younger people are involved in areas of parliament and areas of ministries. Like sometimes we wonder, what does a deputy minister do? Like, angazi nami, what does a deputy? You're just chilling,
Yeah.
Maybe the deputy minister
Yeah.
must be a young person and who's learning what to do from
Sure.
the minister. And the deputy president must be a
Sure.
young person who's learning how to be a president. I don't know
100%.
about the deputy president, but like your deputy ministers, definitely.
Yeah.
The deputies must be younger people who are learning to become. I think that would make a little more sense. It would look like we are definitely trying to make sure that we are creating, some sort of legacy leadership. And I think that's something that's important.
Yeah. We've been in the lockdown since on the 27th of March.
Yeah.
What is your take?
Wow. Okay. Yeah, the lockdown has been quite long. I actually read something today that said it's been 100 days, exactly 100 days since the first
Sure.
the first person was reported being infected after coming from that holiday trip abroad. It's been 100 days since then.
Yes.
And in this time, we've noticed that the world is not constant. Yesterday is not always what today is going to look like. And if you thought that, you would have thought that 3 months ago, life was going to look the way it was looking the yesterday, 3 months before
Sure.
3 months before today. But as you can see, everything has
Sure.
changed. The repo rate has changed with the banks. The economy looks different. Petrol has changed. Stocks on certain companies, markets have almost crashed and collapsed in certain areas. So much has changed. And so many jobs have been lost in certain areas, and yet jobs have been created in others. It is so important that you gear yourself up to adapt to change instead of just looking at things change and wondering what happened. Be part of it, be active and say, okay,
Sure.
cool, what can I do? Mina ngenapi? I see things are going this way, mara mina ngenapi? Abantu bathenga ama sanitizer, mina ngenapi? Can I make sanitizer? Can I make masks? How can I get involved in the economy? Because sitting back is not an option. You need to get involved somehow. I've known many people who've made a killing from masks. I know many people who've made a killing from sanitizers. I know many people who've made a killing from those things you step on and then the thing just sprays sanitizer in your hand. Some people have said, you know what, I can't make these things, but I can make labels. Anyone want labels? Because you need labels for your bottles. Others have said, you know what, I can't make any of those things, but I can be part of supply and demand. I can buy I can buy masks from someone and sell to someone else. And others have decided, okay, I am not really in this space, but maybe I can be in the. But what I'm saying is that there are always areas, whether it is offering online services to people or helping people convert their companies into online companies or something. I'm just saying every time when there's crisis, there's always opportunity on the other side of that coin, and we live on the opposite sides of the same excuse. So it's either you're going to say, I didn't make money because of corona, or yo, look at how much money I made because of corona. So when I saw that, I immediately knew that, hey, there are going to be opportunities. Let me keep my eyes and ears open to see where the opportunities are going to come from. So when Ramaphosa spoke about mass education campaign, I was like, hey, mass education, that means voiceovers, that means those type of things are going to be there. So I try to make sure that I'm available for that space. When I saw that, hey, there's also opportunities, people want to now learn new skills. Hey, let me offer my training that I normally do face to face, but let me offer it online. Let me create something. Let me create an online academy. So you need to adapt to change. You need to be adaptable and relevant, and in real time be able to really be responsive. And that's how you can kind of carry yourself through, even through times of change and times of uncertainty. It's so important that you gear yourself up for change, because if you don't, you will be shipwrecked. You will see yourself just being on the sideline wondering what happened. So it's so important, get yourself involved. Always ask yourself, ukuthi mina ngenaphi? Ngena mfana yenza imali.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Last question. We in the youth month, and in the past few weeks, we've been hearing different stories, bad stories regarding the gender-based violence, and we find out that many women have been killed by boyfriends. Even today in the morning, I heard on the news that there's a boyfriend who killed his girlfriend, then he also killed himself. So what can you say on that? Because as an Amachita, we are tired of talking Makonini. I think it's time we can go out and speak about this and try to get the solution. Ungathini? Yes, mhlawumbe nomjito sibhekele is thinking of doing such thing to kill a girlfriend yakhe. Ungathini kubantu abasha?
Yeah. You know, I actually thought of that for a while, and I thought, yeah, I wonder what difference it makes. You know, sometimes I was wondering, so I see people post things on social media. What difference does it make? Like, is it even changing anything? And what can I do? What can I really do? And it is really frustrating, because at the end of the day, you can't control a person's actions. You can't control what they end up doing. But the best you can do is be an example. The best you can do is say, hey, since you look up to me because of let's say my entrepreneurship journey, or maybe because you look up to me because of my talent, let me also say what I do even in these areas, and so that you can say where you maybe you've been role modeling me in the in talent areas or in public speaking, but
yes,
I have never shown you how I act in this space, and maybe that's why you haven't also copied me here as well. Maybe that's what's missing. So I'm thinking maybe I should really be vocal and say it is so important that, first of all, you understand that violence solves nothing. That if you think that you need to physically and violently assert yourself on someone, have them be obedient to you, you have already lost that person and you've lost that conversation. So it is so important that you understand that to be a better man, to be a better human being, that violence must even never be a resort, because it's not really going to solve anything.
Sure.
We are not animals where if I hit a donkey, it knows it must turn left now. It's not the same with human beings. We need to be able to reason with people. And if they don't see eye to eye with what you're reasoning with, then maybe that conversation is not meant to be. Maybe this relationship is not meant to be. And you don't own a person. You also don't own a woman. And you can't physically think you can do something to change her mind or something like that. I think the sense of entitlement or feeling like you can own someone or you run their life is such a backward type of thought, and it really is sad to see, you know. Even when you even think, okay, women must be submissive or something, but that also has to do with your leadership. When they see something to respect, they will respect you. When they see something to be submissible to, they will be submissive. But you need to then act by example, and the way you carry yourself and the way you behave is what makes another person respect you, because the respect is earned. It is not enforced upon. You cannot beat me until I respect you. You cannot choke me until I respect you. You cannot intimidate me until I respect you. That's not respect. That could be fear, that could be other things, but it's not respect. So I think that's just a 2 cent I have to say about the matter. I really feel like I need to say something, but we all feel so almost powerless, and all we can do is speak. And I wish we could do more, but I guess it starts with us just being able to say something about it.
Yeah, that's the last question. It's just come up now. What do you see yourself in 5 years or in 10 years?
Jeez. I really see life happening in threes. Like every 3 years is like another big jump and another big jump.
Sure.
And so 5 years is kind of like odd because it's in the middle of two jumps. But it's definitely quite huge. I really have so many things that I'm working on. I believe that at the rate that I'm going, that I do see myself doing things um, bigger, nationally, making a bigger, significant impact in people's lives, trying to make sure
Mhm.
that that can get echoed internationally also. I feel I'm very young still, but there's so much I've learned already and so much more growth. I'm excited and frightened by my potential and who I'm going to become. I think it is something that excites me every day to think, wow, if I'm already doing this, who am I really going to become? And who knows what more I can still bring out, and what I am made of is really just gonna come and shine more and more. So I'm just excited about who I am. Man, used to thinking 10 years, 10 years almost makes my mind want to explode, because I'm just thinking, dude, if I just look at the last 10 years and how remarkable and exponential this growth has been, who knows what lies ahead for the next 10 years. So it is frightening for me, but it is definitely exciting. And I think one day we will remember this interview, because you'll say, I spoke to that
Yeah,
guy. Shots. He did
sure.
it. That's what I want to do. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much for your time, Mr. Weza. We really appreciate what you have done and also what you are doing for young people of South Africa. Um, I always watch your video. You used to have some sessions where you train young people in terms of entrepreneurship and other stuff. Thank you so much. We really appreciate what you are doing. Sicela ke uweza the guy asikhiphe ngento yakhona ezivala i-conversation yethu.
Okay, so what do you want me to say? How do I close the conversation? You want a voiceover? Hey, you guys like free things. You don't know where
that,
there's a voice, there's an invoice.
that voice, that voice over. But we can say we can do voice over as on zonke izinto.
Yeah.
Maybe we can talk about lockdown, or we can talk about gender-based violence, or SAPC one thing, because a lot of people they know your voice go SAPC one or Mzansi Magic, but
Yeah.
they've never had a chance to see you.
Yeah. Okay. I'm wondering what am I gonna say. It would have been easier if I had a script, but if I have to just do this from the cuff, let me just think.
Okay.
Okay. This is Weza That Guy saying protect our women and hashtag Happy Youth Month 2020, the year of the lockdown. Cool. I hope that was
Thank you
cool
so
enough.
much. No, thanks. Ngizothumela invoice. Abanye bathi sicela invoice. So
Yeah,
ngizoyithumela.
yeah. All right, cool stuff, man.
All
Thank you
right,
so much for the interview. Sorry?
all right, sure.
Chop, chop. Oh man, what a session. It's always a session, isn't it? Oh goodness. I enjoy these sessions, man. Let me just see what you guys have been saying this entire time. Wow, so great. Thank you so much. Invoice, Baba. Let's invoice. Always interesting. Okay, thank you so much. You're right. Yeah, man. All those things are bars, man. Bars for Mars. That just rhymed. I don't know why I said that. Let's see who else has been saying stuff here. People have been laughing. I see laughter. Did I say funny things? I hope I said funny things. What else is here? Success is expensive. Yes, Musa. Musa the poet. Success is expensive. Can I please talk to you next? Tell me, how do you want to talk to me? You mean you want to talk to me as in you want to do a broadcast, like live later? Or do you mean you want to do it right now? If you want to do it right now, just let me know. If you want to do it later, let me know as well. More laughter, more laughter. Yeah, ne? Perfect. Thank you so much. I remember the story. Yes, Mr. Musa. The story is the real deal. It's the truth. True. Twins. Did I really look like that guy? I don't think I look like that guy. But you tell me. Did I really look like that dude that we just interviewed now? His name is Vusi, by the way. Did I look like Vusi, the big, big dreamer? Anyway, I now start to sound a little more like that Metro FM. You know that guy that does a Metro FM, always sounding like he's butchering any Swana Kosa names. Like, what are some of the names that he just messes up? Like, he messes up every name, every African voice. I mean, every African name. But yeah, the voice though sounds great. Guys, yeah, I was been if you just arrived now, I was doing a live interview with Vusi, I mean not Vusi, Vuyo, and he pretty much just like anybody else, just reach out to me, just say, hey man, can I just have a quick word with you? And maybe we could do it live on air so that more people could see and more people could benefit from the questions that are being asked. So that's kind of like what I like to do these days, just make myself available. If you ask anything, I would answer, and hopefully in that way we could make more people, get more insight into not only voiceovers, but into public speaking, into emceeing, into the radio presenting world, into making a living speaking, literally just making money with your voice. It's what I do these days anyway. I just make money speaking. That's just how I live. I just speak for money. Speak for money. Appreciate the wisdom, bro. Siyabulela. Thank you so much. I appreciate that you appreciate. Thank you. Wow, so great. Thank you so much. Please save the live. I will definitely save the live just for you. I shall save the live just for you. I'm actually doing like a whole series. I try to save the lives that I publish or broadcast from my space. And if you check out the series, it's called Lessons from the Hustle. So, throughout the hustle, you learn different things. You become wiser with time. And all these lessons as they occur, I try to make sure that I share some of these bars of wisdom so that you can kind of just, check out what I've been learning and what I've been doing. I think it has a lot to do with how quickly one can grow. If you can learn all the lessons life is trying to teach you early, you can grow faster and you can graduate faster into different levels. And whenever you want to achieve more, you need to become more, because life gives you what you are, not what you want. Life gives you what you are. So if you want more, you need to become more. How do we become more? Well, we have to learn, internalize, and execute on the next level of thought, next level of frequency, of energy, of whatever you want to call it. But you just need to step it up a notch. Whatever level you think you're on now, you can always achieve more. You know why you're not earning 100,000 a month? Because you don't know how to earn 100,000 a month. But if you learn how to earn 100,000 rand a month, would you earn 100,000 a month? I think you certainly would want that money, wouldn't you? So. And then when you finally figured out how to, you will earn it. And then once you've earned that, you know that, hey, you can learn some new skills, some new knowledge, and some new things that will help you understand how the world works to the guys that earn 200,000 rand a month. And you say, hey, well, why don't I join that crew? Because I would love some extra money, unless you don't like extra money. But I think everybody would like some extra money, but some extra money means you need to have some extra knowledge, because it just works like that. Knowledge, skill, money. Knowledge, skill, money. Knowledge, skill, money. And if you want the next level, it literally, the steps work like that. You climb the stair of knowledge, you climb the stair of skill, because not skill is just an application of the knowledge. And then the next step says money that is equivalent to the level of your knowledge and skill. And then there's the next one, and then there's the next one. So the only reason you're not earning 10 times more money than you want to be earning right now is because you simply just don't know how to earn 10 times of what you're earning right now. But here's the good news. There are millions of millionaires, millions, especially Rand type of millionaires. Rand money is so little compared to what the guys in the billions are doing, right? In terms of, let me say, compared to the guys with dollars and euros and pounds, Rand millionaires are like nothing. So you can just join that crew. I mean, there's thousands of them created every day. Why don't you just join them? In fact, sometimes get the money, become a millionaire. Not if you don't want the money, it's fine. You can give that away. But for the person you'll become when you are that much wiser, with so much more knowledge and skill. So even if you're just doing it so that you can become a better version of yourself, strive to become a person with more knowledge, more skill, eventually more money. Even if you don't want the money, you can give it to me. But just learn the skills, learn the knowledge, learn the skills, learn the knowledge. It's just a byproduct that it just comes with some nice money. But if you don't want it, you could give it to us because we want your money. Thanks. You can give it to us and you could take the knowledge and the skill if you don't really want it. But ultimately, of course, everybody wants the knowledge. Everyone wants the skill. No, actually, everyone wants the money. So you want the money, but I'm telling you that you could get the money if you can get the knowledge and get the skills. So get those two, then you can get to the next level. Get more of them, you can get to the next level after that. That's just how graduating from this life thing works. I see I got a couple of comments. There's always honestly something to learn from you. Thank you. Thank you so much. You are the best. Best mentor one could ever ask for. Thank you, Weza. Thank you, Kia. You just too kind. Melanie Sidia, please go live for the next hour. We like seeing you live as we learn. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. I love your work. Love for helping people grow and develop. Thank you very much, Amy. I really appreciate it. Please save the live. I shall definitely save the live. Cool. But tell me, do you have any questions on what I just said right now? Learn, knowledge, skill equals to more money, because it really is the truth. And that's just how I've kind of been growing. When I started out with this type of thinking and this type of developing in terms of just the thought processes that led me to make more money and led me to think more and to learn more skills to make more money. It first just started out by me just listening or watching or reading these motivational speaker slash wealth talkers slash self-help people. And at first I thought, nah, it's got to be harder than that. What? Can't be that simple. Don't tell me that you can just do it just like that. It must be harder than that. But then I thought to myself, I've got nothing to lose. If I try it and it doesn't work, I'll just be who I was, little old broke Weza. But if I try it and it works, guess what? I'll be rich. So hey, let me just give it a proper chance. So I learned things like self-talk, positive self-talk, because you do talk to yourself, right? You do talk to yourself. Think about it. You be honest. Do you talk to yourself? Tell me right now. Thumbs up if you do talk to yourself, even if you say little things that don't always make sense. But do you talk to yourself? Because if you do talk to yourself, it means that you're absolutely normal. But if you talk to yourself, are you saying positive things most of the time, or are you saying negative things sometimes? Do you say, oh man, you're so fat. Oh man, look at you, you've gained more weight. Oh man, you're not good at this. Oh man, you kind of suck. Oh no, no one's gonna like you. Are those your self-talks? Are they negative most of the time? Because your self-talk actually has such a big impact on the results that you end up creating in your outer world as well. So it's so important that you adjust your self-talk. And I was learning this and I thought, really? Can self-talk really make that much of a difference? And it really does. It has to do with how much you like yourself. The more you like yourself, the more you do things that are more congruent with the better version of yourself. the more you act according to the positive version of your self concept, the more you do those type of things, the more you see results that are in line with what happens when you are doing things that are your best version of yourself. And the more you see those type of results, the more you like yourself, because you are producing the results that you like to see in your life. But you're only producing them because you like yourself, and you like yourself more because you're producing them. And then it just becomes this ripple effect, and then it grows and grows and grows. And if you just don't stop talking to yourself in these positive affirmations and these positive ways, and just pushing yourself forward, and just always keeping yourself in the right state of mind, you will always start to create more and more the situations, the circumstances, the resources, inviting the people into your life that are in line with the best version of yourself. And things just start to work out, and everything just fits, and it's just great all the time. And you're just having a good news lifetime. You're not having a good news hour or a good news season. It's a good news lifetime. Every day is about good news and more progress and more things going well. And that's what you want, isn't it? Yeah, I'm saying way too much for free. I should be charging for this. But would you buy my book though? One day I'm going to make a book. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be about these type of things and more. But would you buy the book though? Because man, these bars are just coming in, man. These bars are coming in. They're going to be for the books, not me. Let me just check out what's happening on the comments. One thing to have a great voice for a voiceover, but how do you go about getting gigs? How do you go about getting gigs? Because it's one thing to just have a good voice. Very true. That's why it's also important that you understand how the business of voiceovers work. So I kind of teach that as well in my course. How did the business side of voiceovers work? So that you understand, how do you go from where you are to where you want to be? How do you make sure that you're making more gigs than what your agent is getting you? Because you're not just relying on an agent. You're not just waiting for gigs to come your way, but you're being active about how things happen. And it's so exciting to see a lot of my students are actually making a lot of those moves themselves. Accumulatively, now they've made over 2 million Rand just on their own, with their own gigs and with their own home studios, and just making things happen for themselves. And that's exciting for me, because I wanted to be significant. I wanted to impart a skill to people that can help them not just have a fish, but a fishing rod, so that they can actually make more for themselves and the people that they care about. And to do that, you need to understand the entire sphere, not just understand your voice and how to be a voice artist, but you need to understand the business side of things and how to navigate throughout all of this. So that's kind of what I have done, and I teach it to my students as well, into how you can really go from where you are to where you want to be. In fact, now I'm working on making more success stories. I want to make more millionaires, more voiceover millionaires, more voice millionaires, speaking millionaires. So I'm trying to develop a course titled Making Your First Million in Voiceovers. And it's going to be something that's pretty epic. I'm working on the content, just trying to help people go from where they are to where they want to be. I wouldn't be able to make that type of content if I hadn't already achieved the peaks that I'm talking about. So I think this is a better life, where you lead from the front. You do it first, you achieve it first, and then you now share. Hey guys, if you guys want to be where I am, this is how I got here. And I started out as a regular guy from here, and I did this and this and this, and this is how I got here. The good news is that success leaves tracks. If you're willing to follow my tracks, you will also get to where I am, even if it takes you longer, or even if it happens faster for you. Because when I started, I didn't have Weza when I was starting this thing, but you have me. So chances are you'll be able to go faster, and you can get here faster. I believe that it's an infinite pie. It doesn't finish. There's no need for me to keep my 3 slices and think, hey, let me not teach anybody how to do this voiceover thing. Next thing, they will come take my job. The truth is that it's an infinite pie. There are so many gigs available. It will never stop. There's no need to feel like you need to hold on. In fact, grow the industry, grow the space. And in that process, more people can become success stories of something that maybe you started. You maybe put out some seeds, and people could grow because you are here. And I think if that's what I achieve, if I could achieve significance in that, because I was here, these people are now those people. And these people are taken care of by those people because you took care of them and you created a whole ecosystem. And this all happened because you were here. I think that is significance. And if you could check out over the world, having done something like that, whatever it is for you in your space, I feel like you can walk away saying, yeah, yeah, that was quite an innings. I did that. Yeah. Nomfundo is saying, please save the life. I will definitely save the life, Nomfundo. No worries. I'm going to do that. Kia, how does one deal with clients who give you their budget before you can even quote them? Hey, man, at the end of the day, I am Gucci, I am Versace, I am Prada. Sorry, guys. I got a call. One of my Airbnbs has the guest that just arrived. So I now need to go out there and make that money happen. You know what I mean? But I'm saying that I am Gucci, I am Prada. And if you are not my client, you are not my client. That's okay. You know what? When people walk into Gucci and you think something is too expensive, they say, "Oh, that's expensive." And then they walk away. Gucci does not lose any sleep. They're like, "Hey, that's just not our client." So if someone comes to you with a budget and you feel like that's not your vibe, if it isn't your vibe, it isn't your vibe, and maybe that's not your client. But sometimes you need to also use discernment, because if this could be a repeat client, someone that can maybe come in frequently enough for you to make ends meet, then maybe you need to take them. So it also depends on how far you are along your career and your journey, and how your how often your gigs are coming, because there is a time in life where it is okay to go for experience and exposure, but then there's also a time where you're saying, you know what, I'm already experienced, I'm already exposed. You're just not my client, but I can find you someone who is. In the meantime, I'm gonna keep it going. So you have to kind of play it by the ear and see if that is serving you at that particular time. But anyway, guys, thank you so much. I have got to go now, but thank you so much for even being patient throughout this whole time and just listening to me and just being part of this and just sending me your questions and your comments and your quotes. Always remember, you can always send me a message on Instagram, direct message. I'll reply. If you want training, tell me about it, online or in person. I got it all, man. Anyway, it's Weza, that guy, and it's been a plump, pleasing pleasure as well as a privilege having a chat with you. Adios and goodbye. Shalele.